This is, in fact, Gemma, a family of open language models, but it's more about how why Google is taking the open market. I'm intrigued as much as you are, really, again, to hear how this is going to unfold for us right now. Please welcome from DeepMind, Mr. Armand Joulin.
Is this one working? Okay, thank you. Hi, so I'm Armand Joulin. I'm a director at Google DeepMind and previously a director at Meta working on Llama. And now I'm presenting you this new project that we launched at Google called Gemma, which is a set of open models based on Gemini, so language models and so on. All right, so the big question is why suddenly Google is going in the open markets. And I think more generally why open markets for language model is important. First of all, I think the most important thing to me is because when you have open models, you have them for everyone. You don't have like them closed behind API. You can help people build whatever they want, the way they want. So you really access people who doesn't necessarily have the tools to work with them through a cloud provider. So that's quite important. You have a very big number of customers that you are reaching out with that. The second element is that you meet a lot of the developers where they are. Like a lot of people don't want to have just a product that is on the cloud behind an API and with limited functionality. A lot of developers just want to hack with open models. They want to build, like putting things together and so on. So it's very important that we are able to give them the tools to do that. And finally, why doing that with Google is because Google has a long family of open products and a large ecosystem with JAX, with their cloud providers, as well as old open models like T5 and so on. And the goal is really to help the developers who are interested in building with open products to use the full portfolio of Google's open solutions. Okay. So what it means for us exactly at Google DeepMind to fit this mission of creating open models for developers. So the first thing is we want to meet, when I say we want to meet developers where they are, it also means we need to understand how they build with these open models. And generally people who want to build with open models doesn't work on a huge, gigantic cloud providers like with thousands and thousands of GPUs. They work with their own GPUs or with a very small pod on AWS or on GCP. And so they have access to limited compute. So we built these models with that in mind. It's like we decided to pick sizes that runs on your laptop, that runs on your phone, that runs on high-end GPUs, but that doesn't need a full data centers. That wouldn't make no sense from an open perspective. The second thing that is important to us is that we try to accelerate and facilitate the publication cycles because a lot of these developers are actually researchers that build not only tools but also new discovery in AI with that. And so we try to have a high cadence of releasing these new open models so that they always have access to the latest technology from Google there so they can build better things. And thanks to that, this is the last part of our mission, is we try to also get that feedback loop in. Is by working with the research community, by having our foundational researchers within even Google, working with our open models, we are able to see what they build with it, how they improve it, and then get that back to the closed API equivalent, which is Gemini. All right, so we released the first models some time ago in May, and at the time, the comparison with the best model out there was Llama 2 and Mistral, and we were far superior than them. Since then, Llama 3 was released and released new models, but in general, our model when it comes to performance are extremely competitive. Right, but the more important, more than the performance, I think one of the things that was key for us when we built these models was to have them safe by design. That was very important because this is in the mission of Google and of DeepMind to build responsibly. And so we really put that in the foundation of our models. So That means mostly two big steps. The first one was filtering pre-training data. So making sure that there were no personal data, that the content was from high quality sources, there were no sensitive data and so on. So that's a very long process, and you have to imagine we run that through trillions and trillions of words. So it's a pretty intense procedure. We also make sure that websites that doesn't want to be included in the training of these models are removed. So every time we create a new version of our model, we remove websites that have opted out. As mentioned, I think 2 talks ago, most of them are unfortunately websites that are giving very high quality information, like I think Le Monde or these type of things. But we make sure that we respect their request, and that is part also of our processing. Finally, the second big step that is extremely important is the safety tuning of our models. So when before releasing our models, we make sure that they doesn't produce any harmful content. It's not perfect. It's a work in progress, but we try to keep it at the minimal. We have a very hard line there, and we enforce it by having a separate team, red team, that before launching will take our model and test it on a lot of difficult prompts, and will give us an answer of if we can release or not. Like, we have no access to their process, no access to their data, how they judge the model. We just have access to their decision. And thanks to that, that allows us to make sure that we meet some community standards. But again, the bar is always higher and higher, and this is why we open models, so that the community can tell us also at the larger scale where we can improve. For instance, when we compared with the Mistral models on the safety, for the first version of models, we had a much higher rate of success. So what it means is that people were finding our models less likely to produce harmful content. And again, since then, we have vastly improved the safety of these models, while maintaining its ability to answer. Because it's very simple to make a model safe by making it never answer. This is not what we want. We want them to give constructive and helpful answers that are safe and responsible. All right. So when we released the model, we got a really good coverage, I think, and overall positive feedback from the community. It was mentioned in most of the news outlets, and really helped put Google back on the open sourcing map. So that was really a good launch in last May. Hope. Since then, we have put the model on every possible platform to have access them. Some are Google platforms like Kaggle or Jax or Keras, but we also put them on every other one, like Hugging Face, NVIDIA, and so on, so that people can work with them wherever they want with whatever tools they are used to. Since then, over the last 6 months, we had more than 20 million downloads of these models, so that was pretty good. It's ever growing. We see that they are among the most used on our cloud platform, so it's a really good. It's a good feeling to work on something that people use. The models are designed to work on your devices, so you can download them on your laptop and just run them. Maybe not the biggest one, but the standard size one will run on your laptop and allows you to have your own AI assistant on your laptop without the need to connect to any cloud provider or anything. You can do it and tune it the way you want. Same, the smallest one will run on your mobile, so that allows you to build your app if you want, or just take the one that is already a chatbot, put it on your mobile, create an app around it, and then you have your own personal assistant on your laptop, just as you want it to be. So a few things you can do with these on-device models, and where we try to make them good is mostly on text generation, rewriting, email correction, these type of things. because we've seen that this is the most used ones. And since then, as I mentioned, we have released a version 2 of Gemma, which had also received a very good feedback from the community, with a very big model that was considered the best among the open models that it's released, and a moderate size model that is currently and still, I think, the best for models that run on your laptop. And with that, this is the end of my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Right, let's move on now